What's up, guys? It's time to roll initiative, and we're diving into the full overview of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Now, if you've already been to the channel and you've hit the subscribe button for the initiative for this encounter, I would say thank you so much for tuning in. However, we're going to dive into the whole thing again. If you haven't known, we already talked about this on stream for about 2 hours when the book launched. I had everybody just kind of nitpick and just I click on certain chapters and talk about it during the stream. But today we're going to be diving into the whole thing. If you wanted more in-depth videos, I would definitely recommend you to Ted from Nerd Immersion. He's doing a huge series on this. I definitely recommend it to anyone that's looking into more information on Pacific stuff. And like right now, he's doing Pacific stuff on Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. First things first, I'm going to be reviewing the book. Just the cover of it. We're going to go into the materials of it in a little bit. I'm not going to do like what everyone else does where they open it up, flip it page by page and talk about it. We're going to actually go back onto D&D Beyond and talk about that on there. I'm not going to compare the content to the UA stuff because I never really get to use the UA. I usually wait until it's either a month old or everybody's played through it and worked out all the kinks like after the survey. And I usually just stick to what's legally in the book just because it's just a quick reference instead of me like digging online for the errata and the extra documents that are out there for stuff that's online. I stick to the stuff that's in the books more than the stuff that's online. And I use just D&D Beyond for like references for character creation and just quick like I need to look up the spell real quick or quick monster stats. So let's dive into this. I really do like the book. It shines a little bit silver. It's probably the nicest cover they have done in the 5th edition books right now. That's giving the Theros cover kind of second place for me, and then the generic one they've been using constantly in third place. So anything that does that weird thing where it's like a circle with a logo, and then just kind of says the title across, they've done it constantly, but I like that they're kind of, with the newer books, going out and doing different designs so they stand out a little bit more, because I really do like that this is like white. It will stand out on my bookcase, and it sucks that it will, but for what I get from this, it's worth it. Now, I'm going to bring this up because I haven't heard anyone else bring it up. My local game shop, we didn't get many of the alternate covers in, and we didn't get any of the regular covers in. So we only got 2 of the regular covers in, and we actually we had 12 pre-orders for alternate, but only 11 books in. So we ended up like taking one of the employees out of my shop ended up like giving it to the customers, so they were out one. The thing that they told me was because of COVID, the publisher or the distributor of the books hasn't been able to make a lot, so this book is actually kind of rare. So I'm kind of hoping, it's really, really rare, because then, yay, that's good. I have something that's worth a lot of value. The other thing I also heard was a couple of the game shops around me weren't getting the books on time. Like, they were getting a delay, or they just weren't receiving any of the orders. There's something going on with the physical copies of the book. So I haven't seen anyone report on it yet, but if you need the book or you want to read the book now, just D&D Beyond. It's such a good resource. I recommend it to almost all my players. I just love how versatile it is, but I understand the need for the physical book. But this one, I think a lot of people are going to have to wait a while for, due to the problems with what's going on out there. So we're going to dive right back into the web browser, because I already had this set up ahead of time. So I'm going to dive into this into individual sections, and I'll cut this up in post, and I'll have timestamps for you. So let's dive into this with Chapter 1. Alright, so this is Chapter 1. This is going to be dealing with character options. Every time I've reviewed this, it's been like the exact same thing over and over. It just kind of goes over a way to customize your character's origins by changing some racial traits, guidance on changing your subclasses. The Artificer subclass doesn't really show up in this section. It shows up in the next section. Class features and subclasses for every class from the player's handbook, and then feats everyone can use as an optional role. So what it's basically telling you is to customize your origin. You can change your ability score increases, your language, your proficiencies, and how you do that is with this table right here. You trade skill for skill, armor for skill and martial weapon or tool, simple to simple or tool, martial to simple, martial or tool, and tool to simple, weapon or tool. That's pretty straightforward. But the thing that bothers me, and I brought this up during the stream, it kind of saddens me that it wasn't more diverse. If you kind of understand where I'm going with this, this feels like a generic variant human role, which is basically the generic race role, is what I like to call it. I was hoping for the Pathfinder Ancestry role that they have, where you can just pick and choose from different races, and that's kind of your lineage. This seems to be just more like you are humanoid. You're determined your appearance by whether you resemble any of your kin. You have a small or medium size. You have a movement speed of 30. You get 2 ability score increases, not 1-1, not 2-1-1, but the 2-1-1 makes sense because you get the feat and the variant trait. They give you either dark vision, which everybody's going to pick because everybody in 5th edition has dark vision nowadays. And people say, well, humans don't have dark vision. No, this is them getting dark vision now. A proficiency in one skill of your choice. I don't see many people doing that unless they want to have an additional proficiency skill. But then, of course, you just speak and read, and then the other language is going to be chosen by the DM if if it will fit your character. 9 times out of 10, you just talk to them. They'll help you figure that one out. I kind of felt like it was lackluster. I wish there was a little bit more to custom lineage. But I could see, this being a fun way to customize stuff and just kind of make more races for other people. They talk about changing your skills and changing your subclasses. They put some really interesting twists on it. Before, when I was doing changing subclasses or changing classes in general, we would just kind of just do it free. Like, if you wanted to change your class during a session, just change it, during downtime or during non-play sessions, and then come back with the new character so that you can just jump right back in because you already knew what level you were and you knew what you needed. But this is kind of this is saying training time, you have to put time and effort into it and a little bit of money to learn a new area or a new expertise. So, for example, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, if you want to learn a different fighting style, this would be the way to go, is have them doing the training that way. Okay, I'm back. I just had a problem with my throat. Oh, okay. Or, and the other option is going to be a sudden change that would make more of a narrative sense of why your character is going through a change. So it's not going to be one way or the other. So that's kind of it for chapter 1. So that's pretty much it. But that's just kind of icing on the cake for what's to come in this book. So let's dive into chapter 2. Alright, this is chapter 2. This is going to be the Artificer class. This is from the Eberron Rising from the Last War class that came out in that book. We're going to be discussing what they did in Tasha. It doesn't seem like they changed much, but we did get a couple new infusions. We did get also a new subclass or specialist. So we're going to be talking about just today the specialist and the infusions. Again, like I said, if you're looking for a more in-depth video, Ted from Nerd Immersion would be probably your better bet. But we're going to be just diving into basically specialist. So, Alchemist is going to be your first one that was in Eberron Rising from the Last War. I've played them about 3 times, and I can say that they're pretty fun. They basically, each specialist has their own set of spells that they get at certain levels, and I believe only Armorists changed one of their spells, but with Alchemist you get the Experimental Elixir where you get to roll on this D6 table for certain potions that you can make, and I believe they still come back after 1 long rest. Yep, I think so. Yep, whenever you finish a long rest, you can produce a thing out of an empty flask you hold. So I usually go to the store and like I buy a bunch of flasks to do this, because once it's used up, I just toss it. I did also get a Homunculus with this class, and I did not enjoy using the Homunculus, but however, right now I am using Battlesmith in our Tyranny as a Dragon campaign, and I'm slowly getting used to having the Iron Dog, or the Steel Defender. So, but this is very heavily on the chemical making. It's very supportive class, which I like about it. So, if you want to run it as a supportive class, that would probably be your best option. I do warn you that this is more or less a half-caster class. I don't recommend going beyond level 7 with this this class in general. Like, I find after 7 it gets kind of boring. But, tell me in the comments below what you guys like about the Artificer, and we could discuss it more there. I'm moving on to the Armorer class. The Armorer class is the one that was in UA, which makes you feel like basically Tony Stark. So the only thing that they changed from the Unearth the Arcana was Thunderwave is the new spell instead of Shield at 3rd level. So they changed it from Power Armor to Arcane Armor, which is basically your armor has a... If the armor normally has a strength requirement, the Arcane Armor lacks this requirement for you. So you can basically wear it. You can use the Arcane Armor as a spellcasting focus for your arcane spells, so you don't have to use your tools anymore. You can literally use your armor. I guess that's if it's on you, I guess. I would assume you're always wearing it. The armor attaches to you and cannot be removed against your will, unless someone uses... oh god, I forget. I said this joke like 3 times, and I remember it from stream. Heat metal. If someone casts heat metal, then yeah, you're going to be removing that thing really quickly. It also expands to cover your entire body, although you can retract and deploy your helmet as a bonus action. So you can always like cover your face and then bonus action remove it. The armor replaces any missing limbs and functions identically to a limb it replaces. So basically, if you're missing an arm, or your character's backstory says that you're missing an arm, you could have it just and you get like a metal arm. And then, like, when you need to fully activate the whole thing, it just you're full, in a whole set of armor. You can doff and don the armor as an action. So, I'm assuming you're going to be in the armor the whole time. But for role-playing sake, let's just say that you doff it off the armor, and you just role-play in regular clothes, and then when you get into combat, you go. Like, you're in your armor. The armor continues to be Arcane Armor until you create another piece of armor or you die. After that, it just becomes regular armor. You have to redo the whole thing, I'm assuming. That seems to be a weird catch to that, but armor model is you get to choose between Guardian or Infiltrator, and the Guardian gets Thunder Gauntlets and Defensive Field. And then the Infiltrator gets Lightning Launcher, Power Steps, and Dampening Field. That's pretty much like the only 2 ways you can take that armor class. And then you just get extra attack. You get some armor modifications to it. You get Perfective Armor, which basically adds more to the Guardian feature or the Infiltrator feature. That's pretty much it. I haven't had a chance to play it. I heard from UA that Defensive Field was broken. Like, you could keep triggering it because you basically give yourself temporary hit points as a bonus action. But I've never really played this class. I hope it's not banned or anything. I could see players wanting to mess around with this and try to see if they can get a higher AC out of it. But then again, like I said, I haven't really played this class. I find it interesting to make an Iron Man class. So I'm glad we have it, but we're going to be moving on to the next one that I actually find to be somewhat broken to me personally. I don't want to say I don't like the class, but I don't like the idea it has, and I wish they kind of retooled it a bit. So the Artillerist gets these spells right here, but then they get the Eldritch Cannon, and the Eldritch Cannon for a bonus action basically can get free Burning Hands, a free Force action, and then a healing action. But then again, it's just I just don't like that cannon because I could see players just hauling this around. But again, I haven't had a chance to play it, so I really can't criticize it. I can't say, oh, this is a bad class or anything, because there's probably someone out there that enjoys using the Artillerist. But I could just see this being like someone bringing this into battle and just this doing most of the party's damage versus like the Battlesmith, which I see it being more of like a fighter slash barbarian type of subclassing with, just so you can get in there and do more damage. But you get the Arcane Firearm at 5th level, you get the Explosive Cannon at 9th level, and then Fortified Position at 15th. So most of these kind of cap out between 15 and 17. And like I said, anything above 7 is kind of not worth it as an Artificer. Like, that's why I kind of think like 5th and 6th level stuff is great. 7, you kind of get the ability where you can just, if someone's going to be making an intelligence check, you can give an additional like 1d6 roll or 1d10 so that you can actually, let me see real quick because it's in this one. Class features. Let's go back up here. Nope. Creating an Artificer. Where's the table? Let me Flash of Genius. Oh, I can't click on it. Alright, well, Flash of Genius is basically where you can give somebody an additional bonus to their intelligence rolls so they can pass like a check. Alright, so we're going to jump down to Battlesmith because I believe that's where we were left off. You basically get these spells at 3rd level, and then you get an Iron Defender, which is basically a dog that has a bonus action. It's basically your companion for the adventure. And then they give you their list for this. It doesn't seem like the Iron Defender changed much between Eberron, Rise from the Last War, and this, from what I was reading. However, at level 5, you get extra attack. Like, again, I said, it's basically going to be your fighting class that gets this extra attack feature. That's more or less something really good for like a subclass of this instead of going full on into an Artificer. Arcane Jolt is kind of interesting. You just add an additional 2d6 force damage, and you can also heal for 2d6 damage. I haven't really gotten that far into, like, I haven't got to like level 9 of this, and I probably won't with our current campaign, because it's being Rise of Tiamat and Horde of the Dragon Queen, because it's Tyrion of Dragons. We're currently in Horde, and that ends at 8. That's at 9th level, and I'm probably not going to be making it to 9th level. Improved Defender kind of gives them extra stuff. This Arcane Jolt and your Steel Defender become more powerful. The Arcane Jolt gets increased to 4d6. This is at 15th level. Steel Defender gets a +2 its AC, and whenever the Steel Defender uses Deflect Attack, it takes force damage equal to 1d4 plus your intelligence modifier. So that's pretty much it. I'm still getting through this class right now, and I'm finding it kind of fun. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing it as a barbarian or fighter subclass kind of a thing, or even have a ranger mix between it. You can either go full on into the Artificer or full on into the ranger and have both these feats. But I think the DM would only allow you to have one creature. Now we're going to get into the Arcane Infusions, the new ones. We'll be bringing up as well. The Arcane Propulsion Armor. Basically, it's a pre-requirement is being a level 14 Artificer item. A suit of armor requires attunement. The wearer gains these benefits. Movement speed increases by 5. Includes gauntlets, each of which magic-wielding weapons can be wielded only when the hand is holding nothing. The wielder is proficient with the gauntlets, and each one deals 1d8 force damage and hits and has a throw property. With a normal range of 20 feet or a long range of 60 feet, when thrown, the gauntlets detach and fly at the attacker's target. Then immediately returns to the wearer and reattaches. The armor can't be removed against the wearer's will. The wearer is missing any limbs. It replaces those limbs, hands, feet, arms, legs, or similar prosthetics. Replaces functional identifiable bodily parts as they replace. So basically, you could have a rocket hand and just go punch someone and it pops right back. You could probably get that for... You could probably make that for a monk or be a monk and have it, but I digress. I have not messed with any of the new Artificer stuff. Armor of Magical Strength. This has 6 charges. When the wearer makes a strength check, which, by the way, this is no prerequisite. It's just you can make this at level 3 when you have the ability to make infusions. The wearer makes a strength check or a strength saving throw. It expends 1 slot and adds a bonus to the roll equal to the intelligence modifier. Oh, okay, I'm back. Alright. If the creature would be knocked prone, they would spend as a reaction one of the charges to avoid being knocked prone. However, I did notice this. They're starting to have these things where you have to roll 1d6 to expend charges. The armor regains 1d6 expended charges daily at dawn. So you basically have to set X amount of charges, but it has 6 charges. So what, I roll and then it tells me, oh, I got 3 charges back today. Why don't you just, at dawn, just give me back all 6 charges? That's basically what I've been doing with certain infusions has been, or charged weapons, is just before I burn out all the charges, put it away, and then just wait until dawn, attune it again, and then just have those charges ready to go. But then again, I digress. I don't mess with magic items as much as most people. Boots of Flying Path is a prerequisite for level 6 Artificer items. It's a pair of boots and requires attunement. While wearing these boots, a creature can teleport up to 15 feet as a bonus action to an unoccupied space the creature can see. The creature must have occupied that space before, during the current turn. So basically, if you're walking through a room and you are being attacked, you can just jump back 15 feet, teleport out of it. And I don't think that would give you an attack of opportunity. Enhance Arcane Focus we had before. The item is going to be, of course, no prerequisite. It's just got to be a rod or a staff and just requires attunement. Usually I just do an actual Arcane Focus, and I basically get a gain +1 to spellcasting attacks. In addition, the creature ignores half cover while making spell attacks, which I don't really use that rule. If you're casting, most casters are out in the open. The bonus increases by 2 by level 10. That's it. It's just a +1 and then +2 at level 10. Enhanced Defense, I've used before. It's just an armor or a shield, and you get a +1 to the AC while wearing or wielding that armor with the infusion, and then +2 at level 10. Same thing as Rising from Last War. Enhanced Weapon, same thing. It's simple or martial weapon. Any of those weapons, really. You can grant a +1 on attack and damage rolls, and then level 10, you get a +2. Same thing as before. Helmet of Awareness is brand new. It was a prerequisite of level 10 Artificer item. You need a helmet, and it requires attunement. While wearing the helmet, a creature has advantage on initiative rolls. In addition to the wearer cannot be surprised, and what's this one? Provided it's not incapacitated. So basically, they can't be surprised unless they're down. That's kind of nice. I would see this giving this to the fighter maybe, or the monk. But again, it's at level 10. It's going to be kind of hard. I've done Homunculus before. You just need a gem or crystal worth like 10 gold, or sorry, 100. I don't know why I'm saying 10. 100 gold. And then basically it just does the same thing as an Iron Defender, but is basically just a flying creature that kind of helps out with the party. Usually I use my Homunculus to check for traps and just like kind of help out with an extra hand, but nothing else. Mind Shaper was basically a suit of armor or a robe. The infused item can send a jolt to the wearer to refocus their mind. The item has 4 charges. The wearer fails a Constitution saving throw to maintain concentration on a spell. The wearer can use a reaction and spend one of their item's charges to exceed it instead. That's something I do actually enjoy. I think maybe a warlock or a straight up wizard can have it. Okay, so I was saying, basically a warlock or a wizard class could pretty much use this, that has very concentration type spells, so they can always keep concentration on. However, there is no prerequisite. I can just make that whenever I feel like it, so I might just make that. Radiant Weapon is a prerequisite of a level 6 Artificer item. A simple or martial weapon must be attuned to. I do find disappointing. That's basically giving you the Sun Sword from Cursed Strahd, or a Flaming Sword, basically, because it basically gives you... This magic weapon grants a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls. While holding it, the wielder can, for a bonus action, shred bright light in a 30 feet radius and dim light for an additional 30. So you have about 60 foot of light. It's 30 outer ring of dim, and that 30 inwards. So basically it's huge bright light of radiant light. Sorry, not radiant light, because radiant's actually an attack. The wielder can extinguish the light as a bonus action. So bonus action, turn it on. Bonus action, heck, you could probably make a lightsaber for the fun of it. But I don't think people are going to. This sounds too much like having the Sun Soul Blade or the Sun Blade from Curse of Strahd for me. But if people want to make a lightsaber, go ahead. The weapon has 4 charges as a reaction. Immediately after being hit by the attack, the wielder must expend a slot, and the attacker can be blinded until the end of the end of the attacker's next turn, unless the attacker succeeds a Constitution saving throw against your spell DC. The weapon regains 1d4 expended charges daily during dawn. Again, don't know why. Oh, hit the wrong button. My bad. Using my fancy mouse. Alright. Repeating shot, again, was from Eberron. So, basically, it's a simple martial weapon, no prerequisite. Any simple martial weapon with ammunition properties requires attunement. Usually what I was doing with this was any simple or martial weapon that could fire would get this, but you couldn't stack this plus enhanced damage on it because it's already been attuned to once. So you basically had to do a sword for your enhanced attack and the repeating shot for your crossbow. But basically the magic weapon grants a +1 a bonus in attack damage, and when you're using the ranged attack, it ignores the reloading properties, which was probably something I think a lot of people are already doing. We're ignoring the reloading properties. When you load no ammunition into the weapon, it produces its own, automatically creating 1 piece of magical ammunition. When you make a ranged attack with it, the ammunition created by the weapon vanishes the instant after it hits or misses the target. Basically, it turns your crossbow into a gun legally, because you're just firing magic bolts out of it, and if they stick, they stick. If they don't, they don't. So that's it. It just boop boop, and they're gone. All right, replicating a magic item is the same stuff as before, but I'm actually shocked that I had to go back during the live stream and actually see if the replicated items were exactly the same. So replicated items were basically level 2, level 6, level 10, and level 14. That's all you can really make, and they tell you if you need attunement for it, and it's all the magical items that you could probably find in the Dungeon Master's Guide. This is something that you'd have to actually talk to your Dungeon Master for and figure out if you're allowed to make that item for your campaign. Don't even select the replicate items if you're not allowed to make magic items. And I think that's kind of the reason why a lot of DMs do not like Artificer, is probably because of the fact that they could just get a free magic item. But it's all common magic items, like tool-wise, so I don't get it. Maybe there's a couple weapons in here, but I haven't fully looked through this part. If you guys know, just let me know in the comments below. Repulsion Shield is new. Prerequisite is a level 6 Artificer item. It must be a shield, and it must be attuned. A creature gains a +1 to its AC while wielding the shield. The shield has 4 charges, and basically it can... You spend a charge, and it pushes the creature back about 15 feet, my bad, and then comes back after 1d4 charges for 1d4 expended charges per day, whatever. I don't know why they had to be daily at dawn. Resistance armor basically states at level 6, It's a prerequisite of level 6 Artificer item, a suit or armor. Wearing this, basically following damage types you're resistant to, which is going to be acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, necrotic, poison, psychic, radiant, or thunder. You just become immune to it. Returning weapon was a regular weapon we had before, which was a simple or martial weapon with a throwing property. The magic weapon grants a +1 to attack and damage rolls made with it, and it returns to the wielder's hand immediately after using it as a ranged weapon. Everybody knows that you can make Thor's hammer with this, so it's pretty cool to have that feature. Spell Refueling Ring. It's a prerequisite of 6th level Artificer items. A ring needs attunement. While wearing the ring, the creature can recover 1 additional spell slot as an action. However, it has to be a 3rd level or lower to get that spell back. You can't use the ring again until next dawn. So basically, it's a free, give me back a spell slot kind of a ring. So that's pretty much it for Artificer. So we're going to dive into Chapter 3. Actually, while I'm sitting here, figured out how to just jump in and out of this stuff real quickly. So we're going to be jumping into Chapter 3 now. Alright, we're looking at the Barbarian now. The Barbarian has an optional class feature, which apparently is, instead of taking the class features in the player's handbook, you could actually take class features in Tasha's book. That's going to be kind of interesting. So instead of having certain ones from the player's handbook, we're going to have these ones that you can choose from instead. And I kind of like that idea. And a lot of the classes have this, except for I think Artificer wasn't the one we actually got to touch on. You got Primal Knowledge. When you reach level 3, and again at 10, you gain proficiency in 1 skill of your choice. The skills from the skills list that are available at the Barbarian at the 1st level. Instinct Prowl or Pounce. If my words are still mad, I am sorry. I am still tired trying to read through all this. As a part of the bonus action, you enter. When you take to enter your rage, you move up to half of your speed. Primal Path is basically the 2 new ones we got, which is Way of the Beast and Way of the Wild Magic. Way of the Beast I described on stream sounded like it was like Wolverine or Beast, and they give you like an origin to like what your beast is, or your back or your path, so you can just roll on that, and that's kind of your reasoning. Or like everyone else, I don't know if it's just me or just other tables, like I just let you pick from this table. Just, you don't have to roll for it, because I know some people want to just be something on that list. Form of the Beast is at level 3. When you enter a rage, you transform, revealing the beast. Okay, I just can't say it right now. The beast powers within you. Until the rage ends, you manifest a natural weapon. It counts as a simple weapon for you, and you add your strength modifier to your attack, to the attack and damage roll when you attack with it as normal. You choose your weapon form each time you go into rage. It's going to be your bite, your claw, your tail. Your bite, basically, if you bite someone, you can actually do 1d8 piercing damage on a hit, but once on each of your turns, when you deal damage to that creature with this bite, you actually regain it back equal to your proficiency bonus, provided you have less than half of the hit points when you hit. So if you're actually damaged, you can actually do that to get a little bit of HP back. Your claws do 1d6 slashing damage, and your tail actually does 1d8 piercing damage and has a reach property, and it actually helps you, when you use your reaction to swipe your tail, roll a d8, applying a bonus to your AC to the number of rolls, potentially causing your attacks to miss. So it kind of gives you an additional feature, and it only has a reach of like 10 feet, so it's kind of nice. As a bonus action, you can like whip your tail. This is definitely going to have I see this in the future being used a lot more. So, Beastly Soul is going to be at level 6. You gain swimming speed equal to your walking speed, and you can breathe underwater. Climbing speed is equal to your walking speed, and you can climb difficult terrains, including upside down on ceilings without the need of making an ability check. AKA Beast from X-Men. That's what I was telling people on stream. When you jump, you make a strength athletics check and extend your jump by the number of feet equal to the check total. You can make this special check once per turn. Infectious Fury. The target you must use its reaction to make a melee attack against another creature of your choice that you see. The target takes 2d12 psychic damage. So, when you hit a creature with your natural weapon while you're raging, the beast within you curses your target with rabid fury. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw, your DC plus your constitution modifier. DC equal to 8 plus your constitution modifier plus your proficiency bonus, or suffer the following effect, which we have just read. And then you can't use that feature again until you do a long rest. So Call of the Hunt is at 14. The beast within you grows so powerful that you spread its to others. You fear. Oh god, give up. I give up on reading this sometimes. You gain the resilience from them joining your hunt. When entering your rage, you choose a number of other willing creatures you see within 30 feet of equal to your Constitution modifier, minimum being 1 creature. You gain up to 5 temporary hit points for each creature that accepts this feature. Until the end of rage, the chosen creatures can each use the following benefits once on each of their turns. Creatures that hit a target with an attack roll deal damage to it can roll a d6 and gain a bonus to the damage equal to the number rolled. You can use this feature once until you finish a long rest, and that's pretty much it for Beast. I'm kind of interested in seeing this class get played. Will I probably play it? No, I will not play it because I am not a big fan of barbarians. The only exception to that rule has been Smokey the Bear because he is a barbarian wizard, and I'm putting out forest fires. Okay, Path of the Wild Magic. Magic awareness as an action. Okay, so this is basically your wild magic, but for a barbarian. The only difference is you're not casting a spell. When you go into a rage, the magic just spews out of you and causes a magical effect to happen. But I'll read this through as usual. As an action, you can open your awareness to the presence of concentrated magic. Until the end of your turn, you know the location of any spell and magic item within 60 feet of you that isn't behind total cover. You sense a spell, you learn which school of magic it belongs to. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and regain it after a long rest. The magical energy rolling inside of you can erupt from you. When you enter a rage, you roll on the magic table to determine the effect. If the effect requires a saving throw, the DC equal to 8 plus your proficiency plus your constitution. So if that's going to hurt somebody, that is how you figure that out on the table. Then you roll on the D8 table. Bolstering Magic is at level 6. You can harness the wild magic to bolster yourself or a companion. As an action, you can hold one creature which can be yourself, and confer one of the following benefits to your choice to the creature or yourself. For 10 minutes, the creature can roll a d3, which I don't understand why. I feel like this is a typo. How are you supposed to roll a d3? Whenever making an attack roll or an ability check, add the number onto your d20 roll. Roll a d3. Again, no idea how you're going to get a d3. The creature regains expended spell slot equal to the number rolled or less. Creature of the choice. Once a creature receives this benefit, cannot do it again until a long rest. You cannot use this feature again until you take a long rest. Unstable Backlash is at level 10. You are impaired with the rage. With your rage, your magic within you can lash out immediately after you take damage or fail a saving throw. While raging, you can use your reaction on the wild magic table and immediately produce the effect rolled. The effect replaces the current effect going off, and Controlled Surge basically lets you pick whatever you want. Whenever you roll on the table, you can roll the dice twice and choose which of the two effects you can unleash. Like I said, you can choose what effect you want. If you roll the same number on both dice, you can ignore the first number and choose any effect on the table. So you basically roll 2 and go, I like this one or I like this one. If you roll the same number, you can pick whatever you want on the table. So that is it for the Barbarian. I see Way of the Beast, or Path of the Beast being really interesting, and Way of the Wild Magic maybe not being used as much because it's wild magic. Usually wild magic is like a death sentence for a party because a lot of good things happen, a lot of bad things happen. But again, I digress. I do like that we have these two new ones, but I remember a Way of the Wild Magic was called Way of the Feywild, so I guess they renamed it. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. But that's pretty much it for Barbarian. So we're going to be moving on to the next chapter. Alright, we are looking at the Bard, which has, again, optional class features. Again, different from the Player's Handbook, which I think is, yep, right here, additional Bard spells. So you can switch out certain Bard spells. I really am not interested in Color Split or Command. However, I guess I don't know. I've played maybe a Bard once. Some of these are pretty cool to have. So, again, I haven't messed with Bard as much to say, hey, like, these are kind of cool to have in there. But, I don't... If you're a Bard, please let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on the additional spells. I got nothing, because some of this, like, for example, Mirror Image, I've used before. Maybe it'd be fun to have enlarge and reduce size, but again, I've always played my Bard as a spy, so... Magical Inspiration, the level 2 Bard spell. If a creature has a Bardic Inspiration die from you, and you cast a spell that restores hit points or deals damage to the creature, you can roll that die and choose the target effect by the spell. The number of rolls as a bonus to hit, regained, or damage dealt. The Bardic Inspiration die is then lost. So I guess I can basically inspire myself or have them restore health or add that into the spell. That's kind of weird. That's nice, but kind of weird. Bardic versatility. Whenever you reach a level in this class that regains whichever you gains a level and gets the ASI, which I don't understand why nobody ever talks. They call it ABI or something like that, but it's like ASI for me. You can do one of the following, representing the change in focus as your skills in magic. Replace one of the skills you've chosen for expertise feature with one of the other skill proficiencies that isn't beneficial from expertise. Change one of your cantrips you learned from this class feature with another cantrip from the Bard spell list. Bard colleges. These are the two new Bard colleges that are unlocked. At 3rd level, of course, you can choose them. It's going to be the College of Creation, which was UA, and then College of Eloquence, which was Theros. So we're going to dive right into that. Mote of Potent, which is Creation. This is 3rd level. Whenever you give a creature a Bardic Inspiration die, you can utter a note from the Song of Creation to create a tiny mote of potential, which orbits within 5 feet of that creature. The mote is untangled and invincible, and it lasts until the Bardic Inspiration die is lost. The mote looks like a musical note, a star, a flower, or another symbol of art or life that you choose. So someone's going to be like doing that. At least if I was going to play this class, I would be just middle finger all day long. I'm going to give you Bardic Inspiration. You get this little note. Yep, it's the middle finger. There you go. That joke's done. When the creature uses the Bardic Inspiration die, the mote provides an additional effect based on whether the die's benefit was an ability check or attack roll or a saving throw, as detailed below. The ability checks. The creature rolls a Bardic Inspiration adds additional ability check. The creature can roll the Bardic Inspiration die again and choose which roll to use. So basically, they get to roll, and then if it's not the one they want, they can re-roll it and then keep it. The mote pops and then emits a colorful, harmless spark of a moment. Attack roll. Immediately after the creature rolls the Bardic Inspiration die to add to the attack roll against a target, the target mote will thunderously shatter. I'm trying my best here. The target and each creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of it must make a Constitution saving throw against yours DC, or take thunder damage dealt to the number of equal to the number rolled on the Bardic Inspiration die. Okay, so it's like a mini shield that does thunder damage. So if you get attacked, immediately it gets triggered. Saving throws. Immediately after the creature rolls Bardic Inspiration die and adds the saving throw, the moat vanishes and the sound of soft music causes the creature to gain temporary hit points equal to the number rolled on the Bardic Inspiration, plus your Charisma modifier, minimum of 1 temporary hit point. Okay, so you actually get a benefit for me for using it for a saving throw. That's kind of nice. Even though there's like really anything good from a ability check, I think those two should switch. Performance of Creation at level 3. As an action, you can channel the magic of the Song of Creation and create one non-magical item of your choice in an unoccupied space within 10 feet of you. The item appears on a surface or in a liquid that can be supported. The GP value of the item can't be more than 20 times your bardic level. Okay. And the item must be medium or smaller. The item glimmers softly and the creature can faintly hear music when touching it. The created item disappears after a number of hours equal to the proficiency bonus. For example, you can see the list of equipment in the chapter in the player's handbook. Once you create an item with this feature, you can't do it again until you finish a long rest unless you expend a spell slot at level 2 or higher to do the feature again. You have to only use one item created with this feature at a time. If you use this action and already have it, the first one immediately vanishes. The item can increase by 1 capacity when you reach 6, and then 14. So basically, at 6 it becomes a larger item, and then 14 becomes a huge item. So I don't see how to use that right now, except for probably going from like just a bottle to like a keg at 14. In animating performance, as an action, you can target a large or small non-magical item you see within 30 feet of you and animate it. The animated item uses the dancing item stat block right down here. When you use your proficiency bonus, the item is friendly to you and your companions and obeys your command. It lives for 1 hour until it reduces to 0 or dies. Which basically, some reason the idea of the bread bot from Rick and Morty popped into my head is you just cast the spell. It's like, what do I do now? You dance. Why? Because I need you to dance. Is that my purpose? Yes, your purpose is to dance. So in combat, it shares the same initiative roll. Basically, it's a companion. I'm gonna scroll right past this. It's basically a companion. Once you animate an item to this feature, you can't do it again until after you finish a long rest or spend a 3rd level spell slot or higher to do it again. Same thing as before. And creative crescendo is going to be your performance. You can use your performance check of creation feature, and you can create more than one item at once. The number of items equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of 2. If you create an item that would expend that number, you choose whether the previous item disappears. Only one of these items can be of the max size that you use to create. The rest have to be small or tiny. You are no longer limited by the GP value of creating the item with your performance of creation. So basically at level 14 you can basically make anything without the value of GP to it. So that seems nice. Interesting class, not gonna lie. College of Glamour is basically your wise talking bard. You know, the ones that you see in like old fancy kind of fantasy stuff. You know, the ones that are always kind of smooth operators. I tried this class a little bit, but it didn't work with my spy bard, so I went with the College of Glamour instead. They're kind of, I want to say they're kind of similar, but this one plays more on the lies and manipulation type thing, like a swindler type deal, where you want that high charisma, you want to keep tricking people with your mouth instead of like me. I was using disguises and trying to hide my way through stuff. This is more of just, I would recommend it more for, I guess, RPing for this class. Silver Tongue, you are a master of saying the right things at the right time. You make a charisma persuasion or charisma deception check. You treat the 9s or lower as a 10. Unsettling word, you spin your words laced with magic that unsettles a creature and causes doubt in itself. As a bonus action, you can spend one of your Bardic Inspirations to choose the creature you see within 60 feet. Roll the Bardic Inspiration die and subtract that number from the next saving throw they make. Unfolding Inspiration, your inspiring words are persuasive that others feel driven to success. When a creature adds one of their Bardic Inspiration dice to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and roll fails, you can basically use your Bardic Inspiration there. Universal Speech, as you gain the ability to make your speech intelligible to any creature. As an action, choose one or more creatures within 60 feet of you, numbered equal to your charisma modifier, minimum being one creature. The chosen creature can magically understand you regardless of the language you speak for 1 hour. Once you use this feature, you have to wait until a long rest or expend any level spell slot to use it again. Infectious Inspiration. When you successfully inspire someone, the power of Eloquence can now spread to someone else. When a creature within 60 feet of you adds one of your Bardic Inspiration dice to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll succeeds, you can use your reaction to encourage a different creature other than yourself. You can hear within 60 feet of you, giving them Bardic Inspiration without expending a Bardic Inspiration die. When you use this, you equal to your charisma modifier. You regain it after you expend a spell slot. Nope. If you expend it, you must use it again at a long rest. That's at level 14. That's kind of what's worth it for this class, is being able to, if they make a saving throw and they add a Bardic Inspiration onto it, I believe. Yeah, if the creature adds the Bardic Inspiration on it and they succeed, you basically can go, okay, you get a free Bardic Inspiration roll without expending your Bardic Inspiration. So you can basically be, with this ability, Oprah Winfrey. Let's be honest, you can be Oprah Winfrey with it. You get a Bardic Inspiration, you get a Bardic Inspiration, you get a Bardic Inspiration. Alright, we're moving on to the next chapter. We're at like 44 minutes in this video. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Alright, we're back for the Cleric. Again, optional class features in this. Additional Cleric spells right here. Never played a Cleric. And thanks to Baldur's Gate 3, I will never play a Cleric. I don't find them to be really useful offensive and defensively. Like, I honestly think this class is just basically designed to be just a healer class, when it could have been more. So, that's pretty much it for that. Harness Divine Power, level 2. You can expend your use of Channel Divinity to fill your spells. As a bonus action, you can touch your holy symbol and utter a prayer and regain one additional spell slot, the level of which can be no higher than half of your proficiency. Rounded up, the number of times you can do this is equal to the number of times you can use this feature is based on the level you have reached in this class. 2nd level, 1 time. 6th level, 2 times. 18th level, 3 times. Why did they put the word twice? Why twice? Or thrice? That's so wrong. You regain all expended uses after a long rest. Cantrip Versatility. Whenever you reach a level, whenever you reach a level that grants you an ASI feature, you can replace one of your cantrips. You've learned from this class's spellcasting feature, and replace it with another Cleric spellcast. That's basically all this cantrip versatility is. I guess before it used to be for just the wizard, but now every class gets it now. Blessed Strikes. You are blessed with the divine might in battle. When your creature takes damage from one of the cantrips or weapon attacks, you can also deal 1d8 radiant damage to that creature. Once you deal this damage, you can't use this feature again until the start of your next turn. Alright. Divine Domains is going to be Order Domain, Peace Domain, and Twilight Domain that has been added into this book. The Order of Domain, basically order deities. You have these options here of pantheons, are basically worlds, and the examples right here. Again, you gain basically Order Domain, these spells for that class. Voice of Authority. You can invoke the power of law to embold an ally to attack. You can cast a spell with a spell slot of first level or higher and target an ally with the spell. That ally can use their reaction to immediately after the spell to make one weapon attack against a creature of your choice that you see. If the spell targets more than one ally, you choose the ally who can make the attack. Channel Divinity Order Domain or Order Demand. Second level feat. You can use your Channel Divinity to exert an intimidation pressure over others. As an action, you present your holy symbol on each creature of your choice that you can see or hear within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you until the end of your next turn or until a charmed creature takes damage. You can also cause any of the charmed creatures to drop what they're holding when they fail the saving throw. Okay, that seems a little far-fetched, but alright, I get it. Embodiment of Law. You, at the 6th level, you have become remarkable adept at channeling magical energy to compel others. If you cast a spell of enchanted school using a spell slot of first level or higher, you can change the spell's casting time to a bonus action for this casting, provided the spell's casting is normally one action. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and you can't regain it all until a long rest. Wait, what? So now that they're actually letting you do like a first level spell is almost like a bonus action. Okay. I mean, I did that as a house rule, mind you, but that seems like that's pretty awesome that that's becoming a thing. Divine Strike at level 8. You gain the ability to infuse your weapon strike with divine energy. Once on each of your turn, you can hit a creature with your weapon attack, and you can add an additional 1d8 psychic damage to the target. When you reach level 14, its extra damage can increase to 2d8. Order Raft at level 17. Enemies you designate for destruction wit under your combined effort. Oh god, I'm losing it. Of you and your allies. If you deal your divine strike damage to a creature on your turn, you can curse that creature until the start of your next turn. The next time one of your allies hits cursed creature with an attack, the target also takes an additional 2d8 psychic damage, and the curse ends. You can curse a creature in this way once per turn. That's it for the Order Domain. I know this one was in Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, but I never really messed with it. If you enjoyed the class below, let me know. But alright. Then again, as a Cleric, I probably never will play Cleric, but that didn't pop out to me. Peace Domain. Again, these are the peaceful domains and just the worlds they inherit. Examples. Again, spell slot for the Cleric. Alright, Implied Peace. You gain proficiency in insight, performance, persuasion skills. In Bolstering Bond, you are forged an powerful bond among people who are at peace with one another. As an action, you choose a number of willing creatures within 30 feet of you. This includes yourself, equal to the proficiency bonus. You create a magical bond among them for 10 minutes or until you use this feature again. While any bonded creature within 30 feet of you, 30 feet or other, That's not weird, right? Within 30 feet of other, the creature can roll a d4 and add the number onto the attack roll or ability check or saving throw it makes. Each creature that adds the d4, each creature can add the d4 no more than once per turn. You can use this equal to your proficiency bonus until you have to do a long rest again to recharge it. Channel Divinity, Balm of Peace. You can use your Channel Divinity to make yourself very present a smooth balm. Okay. As an action, you can move up to your speed without provoking opportunity attacks. You mean provoke attack of opportunities. When you move within 5 feet of any other creature during this action, you can restore a number of hit points to the creature equal to 2d6 plus your wisdom modifier, a minimum of 1 point. A creature can receive this healing only once whenever you take this action. Protective Bond. The bond you forge between people help them protect each other. A creature affected by your Embalming Bond feature is about to take damage. A second bond creature within 30 feet of the first can use a reaction to teleport to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of the first creature. Second creature then takes all damage instead. So basically, I'm going to get hit. No, you ain't. Boop, boop. Smack. That makes no sense. When you want it should be you teleport and you take the damage for them. So that means like you as the cleric would step in and protect at level 6. You would step in and protect the wizard and take that damage for them. Potent spellcasting. You add your wisdom modifier to your damage deal to any cantrip. Now, potent spellcasting is brand new. Basically, it says, and this is not just for the cleric, it's for almost every spellcaster except for Artificer, I think. You add your modifier depending on the spell, like your intelligence, your wisdom, or your charisma, and you add it into your cantrip. So it adds additional damage. Expansive Bond at level 17. The benefit of your Embalming Bond and Protective Bond features now work when the creatures are 60 feet of each other. Moreover, when a creature uses Protective Bond to take someone else's damage, the creature has resistance to that damage. A little bit of a wording issue here. What do you mean by resistance to that damage? You mean negates all the damage, takes half the damage, or the effect where it's acid damage or something? All in all, this class is very weird. If you do like it, please tell me in the comments below. But I don't like this one. Okay, I'm back to doing this. This is taking so long. At least I can pause this, take a little breather, and then come back. This is Twilight Domain. Twilight Domain, again, their deities and their Patreons, their worlds that they live in, and anything connected to it. Their spells, and let's dive in. Bonus proficiencies. You gain bonus proficiencies with martial and heavy armor. I was skipping these before I guess that first level. I just noticed that during peace domain. I do apologize, but let's be real. Third level is when things start really happening. So, Eye of Night. You see through the deepest gloom. You have dark vision out of the range of 300 feet. In this radius, you can see in dim light as if it were bright light and it was in darkness. You can see in dim light. As an action, you can magically share dark vision. What? Share dark vision? This should have been out in the Xanathar's guide. Oh, is this what is this? This is the brand new one, right? From UA. Holy crap, this is kind of good. I'm already starting to kind of like this one. Probably still will never play Cleric, though. You share this feature with a willing creature you see within 10 feet of you to a number of creatures equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum being 1. The shared dark vision lasts for an hour. Once you share it, you cannot do it again until you finish a long rest unless you spend a spell slot to share it. Vigilant Blessing. The knight has taught you to be vigilant, as you could basically be a cleric Batman. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm going to keep reading. As an action, you give one creature you touch, including possibly yourself. Come on. Possibly? Possibly. We're using possibly in this book. Okay. Just say including yourself. Like, do you want to give it to yourself or not? Advantage on your initiative roll the creature makes. This benefit ends immediately after the roll, and it cannot be used again. That's it. You're done. You have to, like, expend something for this, I'm assuming. Twilight Sanctuary as your divinity. You can channel your divinity and refresh your allies with the smoothing twilight. As an action, you present your holy symbol, and a sphere of twilight emerges from you. The sphere is centered on you and has a 30-foot radius and is filled with dim light. The sphere moves with you and lasts up to a minute or until you are incapacitated or dead. Whenever a creature, including you, ends its turn in the sphere, it grants the creature one of these following things. You grant temporary hit points equal to 1d6 plus your cleric level. It ends one effect caused by being charmed or frightened. That's kind of cool. That's kind of nice. Step of Nights, or Steps of Night. Wow, I'm losing it. You draw on the mystical power of night to rise into the air. As a bonus action, you can in dim light or darkness, you can magically give yourself flying speed. Okay, this is banned. Nobody likes flying speed. It's impossible to get that into a regular game. You can, your flying speed equal to your walking speed for 1 minute. You can use this bonus action as a number of times equal to proficiency bonus, and you can't regain it again until a long rest. Divine Strike is level 8. You gain the ability to infuse your weapon with a strike of divine energy. Once on each of your turn, you can hit an enemy with a weapon attack. You can cause that weapon to do 1d8 radiant damage. When you reach level 14, it's 2d8. Same thing as before for Divine Strike, just a different damage type. Twilight Shroud. The Twilight you can summon often as a protective embrace. You and your allies have half cover while in the sphere created by the Twilight Sanctuary. I feel like you could probably switch this put this one further down and then boosted one of these. Like maybe take that's the Channel Divinity. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like a pretty good class. I like the Twilight Cleric so far. Let's move into the next chapter, but you guys, at the end of each chapter, please let me know what you like from these chapters. I'm trying my best to keep up with this stuff, and I'm pretty sure my computer is starting to act up for recording an hour-long video. So, I've made it so far from this chapter all the way down to Cleric, and we're not even halfway through the book. Okay. I'm going to call it here, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what your thoughts are on, the customizable stuff in Chapter 1, the Artificer, the Barbarian, the Bard, and the Cleric. I am done. That is it for right now. We'll come back and we will do the Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger. That will leave video 3 for Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard, and then we will do Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 together with group patrons and Magical Miscellaneous. Remember, guys, to subscribe to Roll for the Next Initiative. Hit the like button to tell me if you guys like this Tasha content. This one is a little bit longer. And then also comment below what you thought about this video, if you guys like this new format or not, just so I can collect some data. I'm signing off.